Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and today we're going to be reviewing something that's a little bit different. This is a Transit 350, and it has a twin-turbo V6 and all-wheel drive, and it's also a cargo van. So yeah, something pretty interesting. That's why I had to review it, because it's very unique. Anyways, as always, we're going to do a quick walk around on the Transit, then we're going to take it out to see how it drives. A huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for providing us with the Transit. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get into the video. Under the hood here we have a twin turbocharged 3.5 liter V6 paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 310 horsepower and then 400 foot-pounds of torque. Now coming around to the massive front, I've got the lights on. They are halogen lights at the front here. It's kind of interesting, the little vents there. I mean, it makes the van look sportier. And then we do have fog lights just down there at the bottom, but it's just crazy how tall this is. Obviously this is the higher roof for the Transit, but yeah, I mean the front end is just absolutely massive. I mean, look at that. That is an F-150, and yeah, I mean it doesn't even compare in size. Here's the key fob for our Transit. It has the Ford logo on the back. It's just Ford's like flip out little key fob thing, and I can't seem to get it back in. But you've got your unlock function, your lock, and then this is for the door to lock it or unlock it for the doors themselves. Now we are going to open them up, and you can see these doors open up that far on the back, and it's just this little thing to open this side up. And again, they're hinged, so you can't go any further than that in terms of the doors. So that's kind of like your opening space on it. Now this is actually pretty cool. But before we go inside, receiver hitch and all the plugins for that. Now it's actually pretty easy to step in. You just have to kind of step up to it, and yes, here's the interior. There are LED lights already in here, which is really nice, and I know you guys are all wondering headroom. There's plenty. So I'm about 5'11", and right here is where it kind of comes down. This is the higher part. I mean, I've got at least over a foot of space above me, so yeah, space is not a problem in this. I imagine a lot of people watching this are probably going to do like some sort of van conversion. You could remove this flooring if you want, but I think it's actually pretty nice already in it. But yeah, I see a lot of people who add like a kitchenette thing right here, and then they'll have like the beds in the back or something like this. And this has no windows, so you don't have to worry about that. And there is a little side door, so this could be like the opening for the van that you can kind of pop in and out of. And it is a really big opening, actually, like just coming through. But yeah, and then it's got a nice little step. You do have to kind of hop the last part, but yeah, it is absolutely massive back there. Now we are going to close all the doors, so this you just grab and put it in, and then that door is closed. And then out in the back, you have to close it in the same order that you opened it. So this door first, and then that door second, and it's closed. Well, now let's go over the massive back end. Yes, there is a backup camera on this. I'll show you guys that later on the screen. But you've got a regular badging. You've got the all-wheel drive EcoBoost, Transit 350, Ford badging. And then the lights back here are just regular incandescent bulbs, so nothing too special here. They didn't go crazy with LEDs or anything like that. But here's kind of like the profile, so you guys can see how massive it is. And again, F-150, Transit 350. It is just huge. Now we're coming up to the door. You do have a little keyhole there, and this is confusing. So I'll show you guys that in a second, but you've got just a regular door, there's no keyless entry. Before we go inside, I want to mention the mirrors. They are absolutely massive, so they show everything. And opening the door, now you can see what this is. You can open it up, and this is where you fill in the gas, but you can only fill in the gas if the door is open, which kind of sucks. But anyways, here's the actual door panel itself. Again, you can see the windows on it are huge. And they're not going to do anything crazy, right? It's supposed to just be like a cargo van, so plastic everywhere. You do get window switches, little door lock and unlock functions. And then here are the seats. So it is captain chairs up front. In this particular one, you get a little armrest on it too. But the seats are pretty nice. They are manually adjustable, so just your regular stuff right there. And then over here, you've got your adjustments for the mirrors themselves. And then your light controls right here. Steering wheel is also going to be manually adjustable, but here's kind of a look before we pop in. Well, to start it up, got to do the little flip key and stick it in the ignition, and it'll start up really quickly. Everything will come to life. And yeah, here is the steering wheel on this Transit. Now, zooming in, we do have a couple functions. You've got this for the center stack. You've got like your phone controls, your voice command controls. And then over on this side, you've got cruise control, and then you've got your volume controls for the radio. And then you've got the stock for like the turn signals, also to flash the high beams. And then on the other side, you've got your little windshield wiper stock. Pretty simple though. I've got a little center stack, and it's telling me I'm low on fuel. Now we have the gauge cluster here, so RPMs on the left side. On the right side, you've got the speed, and then there's that little center stack which you can scroll through. Just a couple different menus just to give you different bits of information. It's actually pretty impressive that it has this, because most of these cargo vans, they're super basic and don't even give you like a little screen like this. Quickly, let's go over the infotainment system. First, I'm going to show you guys the backup camera. So there is the backup camera. We've got the little trajectory lines on it, and you can zoom in onto the receiver hitch. Now in terms of cargo vans, I have driven quite a bit, and this backup camera is actually really solid. It shows everything just really well. Now for the rest of the infotainment system, it's just like Ford's other infotainment systems. Response time on it's pretty good. You get the Bluetooth function. You can get the Ford Pass Connect, obviously, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good infotainment system. Response time on it's pretty good, and yeah, keep it simple. Now down below, we've got our analog controls for the radio, and then our climate controls. It is a single zone climate here. Off to the side, there is the button for the auto stop start, and then we've got a little 12 volt down here with the hazard lights. This is the shifter for that 10-speed automatic, and there is the little manual shift buttons right there if you want to shift the gears yourself. You do go into the manual mode for that. Cup holders right here, and then this is important. So, got a little parking sensor button, and then this is for the drive modes. I'm thinking this is like some sort of like snow mode to make it all-wheel drive all the time or something, because I pressed the button and I didn't see anything happen. But the drive modes, when I press the button, you can see that it pumps up. So we've got eco, slippery, mud ruts, and then you got your tow haul. But like I said, when I press that other button, nothing happens, nothing pops up, the button doesn't illuminate. So I'm actually not sure what that is, and I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below what you think this is, or if you know what it is. Thanks for telling me. Up top's pretty important actually. So we've got like our light controls up here. There's a bunch of storage spaces up here, so hopefully you guys can kind of see those little storage spaces that are happening up top here. So yeah, you can store a ton of stuff, and then you get regular little sun visors. And again, just look at how high the ceiling is, and it's weird because it echoes so much inside of the van since there is just nothing in here. Now, briefly just going over the rest of the interior before we talk about pricing. I did want to mention that, yes, everything's just hard touch, durable plastic, and again, it's supposed to be a cargo van. I did forget to show the glove box. There's a glove box, guys. But yeah, again, hard touch plastics everywhere, but again, it's expected for a cargo van. Touchscreen's actually pretty impressive. But let's talk about pricing. So, this twin-turbo, all-wheel drive cargo van, stickers for about $52,000 for any type of market adjustment, which I haven't reviewed a ton of these cargo vans. The only thing I have to go off of was the Rams that I used to sell, and those were front-wheel drive, and they had no power, and you could spec them out to almost 50 grand with a front-wheel drive van, and I think this is pretty not fully loaded, but this is pretty loaded up for what it is. So I'm gonna say I feel like it's a pretty good price for what it is, compared to what I'm used to seeing, at least. Oh man, I'm bad at putting keys in. Talk about visibility before we set off on the Transit 350. And by the way, you guys saw how painful it was to get the key in. For some reason, it likes to like lock you out really easy. Like I had the key right in the keyhole, and it just didn't want to go in. It's kind of weird. Anyways, really easy to see out the front and the sides here. I mean, yeah, just massive with the sides. Obviously, there's not going to be visibility throughout the rear since there's no windows. However, if you guys can see through the mirrors, they show literally everything on the sides of the van, so it definitely helps out with that, and the backup camera helps out as well. But we are going to initially set off, and I was told by John that this fan's way faster than it should be, just because cargo vans, you don't expect them to be fast, right? Usually they have naturally aspirated V6s, or maybe they have like a small diesel engine, whereas this has a twin turbo V6, so should be quick. Initially setting off here, it's actually really easy to maneuver. I was very surprised by that. I wasn't expecting it to be able to just be able to drive it around so easily, but yeah, so maneuverability, super solid. And then in terms of the ride quality itself, it rides really smooth for what it is. I mean, when you go over bumps, you definitely do feel them, but otherwise, when it just goes along the road, it rides very smoothly. And we are going to be going around this little roundabout, so it's going to help us out with steering and then again with maneuvering. And hopefully these crazy Utah County drivers will slow down. Yeah, it's easy to steer. The steering is very light. Yes, there is quite a bit of vagueness with the steering, but this is so easy to maneuver because you're so far forward in the car that you kind of just know exactly where you are, and it just makes the driving experience super comfortable. We are going to get our acceleration now. Okay, yep. John was right. This has no right being as fast as it is. Like, this is a freaking cargo van. It's not supposed to be able to get up and go that fast, but that's awesome. So you can haul around everything you need to haul around, and I just went from 14 miles of range to like 10 from that acceleration. But yeah, that is very interesting. And again, going around this corner, super easy. This thing's crazy. It should not be as quick as it is. That's just so funny to me. But to sum things up, if you're looking for a cargo van and you want something that's all-wheel drive so you could drive in the winter, like here in Utah, I mean, you guys can see all the snow on the mountains. This would be perfect for that. And obviously the 350 is going to have the higher payload, and yeah, this thing's quick for a cargo van. So if you want something that actually has some passing power and is not going to be super sluggish, especially if you load it up with a bunch of cargo or if you turn it into a camper conversion, this 350 Transit is going to be a solid option. So yeah, definitely check it out. That is going to sum things up for our video on the Transit 350. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below, if you got this van given to you, what would you do with it? Would you just use it for like a work van, or would you convert it? And if you did convert it, just kind of what crazy items would you add to it, I guess. But anyways, if you're stopping in for the first time, please subscribe, comment down below what you thought. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo, Utah for providing us with that Transit 350. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.